Your brain is a receiver, not a generator. Somewhere right now, a thought is arriving. You did not summon it. You did not build it. It appeared, the way a radio station appears when you turn the dial. One moment silence. The next, a voice. And you have spent your entire life assuming you are the station. What if you are only the radio? In the next 10 minutes you will encounter 7 ideas that do not fit together. A psychologist who proved you sense the future before it happens. A doctor who weighed the soul at the moment of death. A neuroscientist who found that memory is not stored in the brain. Monks who raised their body temperature through thought alone. An ancient Sanskrit concept that mapped all of this before any of these people were born. A theory about what meditation actually does to your brain over a lifetime. And a question about what kind of human you are becoming right now, whether you know it or not. By the end, these 7 ideas will fit together so cleanly it will feel less like learning something new and more like remembering something you always knew but had no language for. Your brain does not create your thoughts. It receives them. Hold that. Because everything that follows depends on it. Picture a generator. Hot. Mechanical. Self-contained. It does not need anything from outside itself to produce power. Cut it off from the world and it still runs. Burns its own fuel. Makes its own output. This is the model most people carry for the brain. Neurons fire. Chemistry shifts. Consciousness appears. The brain is the source. Awareness is the product. No brain, no experience. End of story. But the evidence has been quietly assembling against this story for over a century. And it does not look like philosophy. It looks like data. 2011, a psychologist named Daryl Bain publishes a paper in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. One of the most respected peer-reviewed journals in the world. The paper is methodologically sound. The statistics are clean. And what it shows is this: participants in a memory experiment performed better on words they had not yet practiced. The practice came after the test. The improvement came before the practice. Information that did not yet exist improved a performance that had already happened. The future reached back and changed the past. The academic world did not celebrate this finding. It panicked. Replications were attempted. Some failed. Many succeeded. The data kept coming back above chance. The door Bain opened did not close. It is still open. And behind it, something is breathing. But your body already knew. It has always known. Neuroscientist Dean Radin runs a quieter kind of experiment. No memory tests. No complex tasks. He shows participants a series of images on a screen, some calm, some deeply disturbing, selected at random by a computer in real time. He measures what the body does. Heart rate. Skin conductance. The involuntary signals of stress and calm. And what he finds, consistently, measurably, across hundreds of trials, is that the body begins reacting to the disturbing image 4 to 6 seconds before it appears. Before the computer has selected it. Before it exists anywhere in the physical world. Your body is already responding to something that has not happened yet. Sit with that for 1 second. Because this is not a ghost story. This is a laboratory. These are electrodes and control groups and statistical significance. And what they are describing is a body that is tuned to something beyond the present moment. Something the brain, if it were only a generator, would have no access to. Unless the brain is not a generator at all. Now the story shifts. Because if the brain is a receiver, then meditation is not relaxation. It is not stress reduction. It is not the modern watered-down version of mindfulness that fits neatly onto a wellness app. It is something mechanical. Something precise. It is the act of expanding the range of the receiver. moving the dial into frequencies that were always broadcasting but were never within reach of ordinary waking attention. And this is where a man named Wim Hof walks into the room. Dutch. Ordinary by every biological measure. In 2014, researchers at Radboud University inject him and a group of people he had trained for only 10 days with bacterial endotoxin. A substance that reliably produces fever, chills, nausea, a full immune storm. In every control subject the immune system responds exactly as it always does. Automatically. Unconsciously. As designed. In Hof and his group, the immune response is voluntarily suppressed. They produce anti-inflammatory compounds on command. They reach into a process that science had classified as beyond conscious access and they turn a dial. Pribram proposed that the brain is not a storage device. It is a lens. It does not hold the information. It reads it from somewhere else. It translates a signal from a field into something you can experience as memory, as thought, as self. The signal is not inside the skull. The skull is how you read it. Donald Hoffman at UC Irvine arrives at the same place from a completely different direction. Hoffman is a cognitive scientist and mathematician. And through decades of modeling how perception evolved, he reaches a conclusion that makes most of his colleagues deeply uncomfortable. What you perceive as physical reality, he argues, is not reality itself. It is an interface. A simplified representation your mind constructs so you can navigate. Like the icons on a computer screen. The icons are not the code. Moving an icon does not move the code. But the icon is what you interact with because looking directly at the code would be overwhelming and useless. Consciousness, in Hoffman's model, is not produced by the physical world. It is the ground in which the physical world appears. The brain does not generate awareness. Awareness generates the experience of having a brain. And somewhere in northern India, several thousand years before Hoffman was born, a sage sat down and wrote something in Sanskrit. Chit. Pure consciousness. Not the consciousness of a particular person. Not awareness that arises when neurons fire. The field itself. Primordial. Fundamental. The ground of all experience. The Vedic tradition does not place consciousness inside the body. It places the body inside consciousness. The brain is not the origin. It is the instrument through which a small, specific slice of a vast and ancient field becomes locally available to a human being for the duration of a human life. Patanjali wrote the Yoga Sutras approximately 2000 years ago. The third chapter, the Vibhuti-pada, is a quiet document that describes, in precise technical language, what happens when a human being meditates consistently and deeply enough for long enough. Samyama. The sustained focus of attention on a single object until the distinction between the meditator, the meditation, and the object of meditation dissolves. And what emerges from that dissolution Patanjali calls siddhis. Mastery. Not power over others. Mastery over the self. Over the body. Over the territory of functions that ordinary consciousness cannot reach. He was not writing mythology. He was writing a map. Because here is what is actually happening when someone meditates over years and decades. The boundary moves. The threshold shifts. What was subconscious, what was running below the surface of awareness, automatic and inaccessible, begins to come within reach of conscious attention. Enzyme production. Serotonin. Dopamine. Cortisol. The inflammatory response. Thermoregulation. Metabolic rate. Kidney function. Cellular repair. One by one, slowly, the rooms that were always locked begin to open. The Tibetan monks who practice Tummo meditation sit in rooms held just above freezing. Wet sheets are draped over their naked bodies. Harvard researcher Herbert Benson documented what happens next. The monks generate enough heat through focused meditation to dry those sheets through body warmth alone. Peripheral body temperature rises by degrees that physiology textbooks said was not possible through voluntary means. They are not doing something supernatural. They are doing something that requires conscious access to thermoregulation. A process that most humans run on complete automatic because the threshold of their awareness has never been moved far enough to include it. This is your theory. And it is correct. And it is terrifying in the best possible way. Because what it means is that the ordinary human being is not a finished product. The hardware is complete. The capacity is full. But most of the system is running without the owner in the room. Most of the building is operating on automatic while the tenant lives in 2 or 3 rooms and calls it a home. Meditation is not decoration. It is not a habit to add to your morning routine between coffee and email. It is the act of walking through your own building. Opening doors. Finding rooms you did not know existed. Taking the reins of systems that have been running themselves since the day you were born and saying, I am here now. I will take it from here. The fully meditated human being is not a mystic. They are not performing miracles. They are simply operating more of what they were always given. They are the same hardware. The same brain. The same body. But the territory of conscious access has expanded to include functions that the ordinary human never reaches. And the result is not someone supernatural. It is someone more fully human than most humans ever become. This is evolution. Not the slow crawl of genetics across 10,000 generations. The fast evolution of a single nervous system within a single lifetime. Not waiting for the species to catch up. Doing it now. In this body. On this side of death. Come back to Bane. Come back to Raiden. The future reaching back to influence the present. The body reacting to an event before the event exists. If you are a receiver, if consciousness is a field and the brain is how you tune into it, then what Bane and Raiden documented is not anomalous. It is expected. A receiver tuned finely enough does not need the signal to arrive on schedule. It picks up what is already in the field. And time, at the level of the field, does not organize itself the way your calendar does. McDougall's 21 grams. Pribram's holographic memory. Hoffman's interface reality. Wim Hof suppressing his immune system. Tamil monks drying wet sheets with their skin. Patanjali describing all of it 2,000 years ago in a language that had already been old for 1,000 years before he was born. 7 ideas. 7 disciplines. 7 centuries. 1 signal. You are not a generator. You have never been a generator. You are a receiver. And the range of what you can receive, what you can know before it happens, what you can feel before it is spoken, what you can consciously direct inside your own body and mind, is not fixed. It is a threshold. And every time you sit in stillness, every time you return to the dot at the center of your awareness, every time you watch the noise without following it, you move that threshold. Slightly. Permanently. In a direction you will not fully understand until you have been moving it for long enough. Somewhere right now, a thought is arriving. You still did not summon it. You still did not build it. But you are starting to understand where it is coming from. And you are starting to understand that the dial is in your hands. 1 dot. 1 breath. 1 key.